Hello, my students. How are you today? Today we have actually chapter 2 in the story of Black Beauty. You remember we had chapter 1 last time, and we talked about Black Beauty and his first owner and his second owner also. So we will continue the events today, and let's go. Chapter 2, Part 1, Difficult Journeys. So, what do you mean by difficult journeys? يعني رحلات كانت صعبة. Okay, Black Beauty had difficult journeys and he's trying to tell us about it. One morning, I was put into a small carriage to take Squirry Jordan and John, Squirry Jordan's helper, on a long journey for the Squirry's business. So he's trying to tell us from the very beginning of the morning that he had to have like a trip, like a journey for Squirry's business. And who were with him? Two. Number one, Squirry Jordan and his helper, John. I liked pulling this carriage because it was very light and easy to pull. So he said it was very light. We said before the meaning of light is what? Yes, excellent, خفيف. And the opposite is great, heavy. So it was very nice to pull this carriage. It was raining when we left, and it was also windy, with many leaves blowing across the road. So what the weather is like now? Actually, the weather was raining and it was very windy, and there are leaves which are blowing across the road. leaves أشجار الشجر كانت عمالة بتقع وبتتطاير عند في الطريق. On our journey, we crossed a bridge, and I saw that the water of the river was really high. So it was not good. Something that happened. The weather is not good. الطقس ما كانش كويس. And actually a river كان مليان على آخره. النهر كان المية بتاعته عالية. And they have to cross the bridge. كانوا بيعبروا البريدج. Many of the fields that was passed were flooded, and sometimes I had to pull the carriage through water on the road. So actually the fields were flooded. It means كانت غرقانة, كانت فايضة بالمية. Okay, and Black Beauty is telling us that he had to pull the carriage through water on the road. When we got to the town, I had a good rest while Squirry Jordan did his work. So they went to the town, they reached the town, and Squirry Jordan started to have his job, and Black Beauty tried to have like a rest. Okay, a good rest. We started to go home late in the afternoon, and now there was a real storm. So when I ask you how was the climate or the weather when they started to go home, so the weather was not good. There were a real storm. I heard the strong wind blowing through the big trees that we passed. So it was very strong wind, and the sound of it. You know the sound of the wind when we make ooh. Yes, this is the sound of the wind. Actually, there were very big trees that we passed crossing it. I will be happy when we are out of the wood, said Squirry Jordan. And as soon as he said this, what happened? A big tree suddenly fell across the road in front of us with a loud crash. Okay, so what happened now? Actually, a very big tree suddenly fell okay, across the road in front of the carriage, and it makes a loud crash. Crash, it means ارتطام جامد أو خبطة جامدة. Okay. And by the way, it's highlighting like this. مكتوبة كده عندك في الستوري بشكل highlighting, بشكل capitalized. Okay. Because it means that he is trying to tell us, or Anna, I'm sorry, she is trying to tell us that it was a very, very loud voice. Okay. That was close, said John. So John said it was very close. What can we do? Asked Square Jordan. We can go forward. He's trying to explain that he can go forward. I think that we will have to go back home a different way. So they are trying to think in a different way in order to back to home. Come on, Beauty, said Square Jordan, who tried to make me cross the bridge. Okay, they want to cross the bridge. They want to have this road in order to have to go home quickly. There is something wrong, said John. What's the matter, Beauty? Actually, Beauty has a feeling, but he couldn't tell them about this feeling. He couldn't move, okay? And he started to settle down in his place. I knew that the bridge was not safe, but I could not tell him. I could not tell him that the bridge is not safe now. Then we heard a man shout from the other side of the bridge. Stop, he called. He called what, this man? He said, stop, stop. Why? The bridge is broken in the middle. If you continue, you will fall into the river. So this man actually tried to tell them, stop, stop. The bridge is broken in the middle. If you continue, you will fall into the river. So he's trying to save their life. I see, John replied. Thank you, sir. Okay, they tried to thank this man because they told them that the bridge is not working or it's broke from the middle, so they cannot cross the bridge. And thank you, Black Beauty, called Square Jordan. Why he's thanking Black Beauty? Yes, right, excellent. He's thanking Black Beauty because he had this feeling and he didn't step away in order to cross the bridge. Okay, so he had the feeling that there's something which is not safe, but he couldn't tell them about this. That's why he stopped in his place and couldn't move. You saved us. He said that you saved us from death. We had to take another road home, but the wind was less strong. At last, we saw the gates of Birtwick Park. So when they saw the gate of this place, of this park, Birtwick, actually they felt that they are now safe. I was very pleased to be home and enjoyed my evening food because I was very tired. Okay, let's see the other part of the difficult journeys, but we will have it in points. Square Jordan and his wife decided to visit some friends. So they decided to have like another journey to visit some friends. Square Jordan drove Ginger and Puri to visit his friends. So now Black Puri is not alone. He is with Ginger. They spent the night at an inn. They spent a night at an inn. They started to have like a rest in an inn. Okay. At the inn, Ginger and Beauty were fed and brushed. Just I want you to know the meaning of inn. Inn, it's like a place where they can drink and they can have a rest. Okay. So this is the meaning of inn, to know it. So what happened at this inn? Ginger and Beauty, Black Beauty, were fed and brushed. They started to eat and they started to wash their body. A young rider in the steppe smoked a cigarette. Okay, there was a young rider who was smoking. Black Beauty felt uncomfortable when he woke up without a reason. So what happened? Actually, Black Beauty was sleeping, but suddenly he woke up. Okay, why he woke up without any reason? Because he felt something which is uncomfortable. Ginger was coughing because the air was filled with smoke. You know the meaning of cough? This is coughing. انك يبقى عندك كحة كده. This is coughing. So Ginger was coughing because the air was filled with smoke. A man with a lantern tried to take the horses outside, but he was worried. Actually, the man wanted the horses to get out of the steppe, but the horses were very worried and frightened, so they didn't walk and they stopped in their places. The horses felt frightened. None of the horses wanted to leave the steppe. All of them started to keep and settle in their places, and no one get out of the steppe because they got frightened. John came and spoke softly to the horses, so who started to convince the horses to get out of the steppe? John. John came. John, who is John? John is the helper of Squire Jordan. John came and spoke softly to the horses, started to speak with them. He was gentle, so they stopped feeling frightened. So what happened then? Actually, he was very gentle and he started to speak with them. They stopped frightened and they get out of the steppe. Black Beauty followed John out of the building. So he followed John out of the building and all of them started to follow Black Beauty and get out of the building. After being saved, Black Beauty called out for the other horses to leave. So Black Beauty started to make them follow him. Ginger told Beauty that he has saved her. Actually, Ginger started to thank Black Beauty. Why? Because she felt that he saved her. The fire became bigger and the building collapsed. Okay, this is a new word that you have to know it. The meaning of collapsed, it means يتهدم. Okay, to fall, like to fall. Okay, so again, the fire became bigger and the building collapsed. And some firefighters arrived to put out the fire. So the firefighters arrived in order to put out يعني يخمد النار. The fire lasted for many hours. Oh my gosh, it was a very big fire. Squire Jordan's friend appreciated John's good work. So the friend of Squire Jordan started to appreciate to say thanks, okay, to be thankful to John. Okay, why? Because John started to speak with the horses in a gentle way, in a good way, in order not to make them frightened and get out of the step or get out of the building. So he appreciated this good work. John was amazing to do one of the hardest things, that was to move horses when there was a fire. This picture was trying to explain the climate or the weather, which is not good at all, while having the journey of the trip, the business trip of Mr. Squarey. Mr. Square actually had like a journey to have his business and finish his business. And while having this, they have a bad weather. It was raining and there was a wind and the road was not good at all. Actually, Black Beauty did something which is like hero. He was like hero in this chapter. Why? Because while they are thinking in another way and they wanted to cross the road, cross the bridge, in order to have another way to the home and get out of the storm, Black Beauty didn't move and he was stopping, like as if he could want to tell them, no, don't move, there is a danger. And actually they started to say, what happened to Black Beauty? There's something which is wrong. And then they started to find a man who was calling them from the bridge and told them, stop, stop, not to cross the bridge is broken from the middle. Okay, and they started to say, okay, thank you, man. And Squarey told Black Beauty, thank you, you saved our life. And after that, the wind became to be calm and they get home safely. Can you see this picture? Yeah, this is right. The bridge was broken actually, and Black Beauty doesn't move. He started to settle down in his place and he wanted to say that there's something which is not wrong, but actually he couldn't transmit this in his speech. That's why there is a man here. Yeah, if you see him, he was calling from the other side and tell them, no, not to move, not to cross the bridge. The bridge was broken from the middle. And they started to say, okay, yes, and they thanked Black Beauty for his good job and his feeling. And Squarey said that he's like a hero. Okay, let's continue our questions in chapter 2, and let's see now what will happen with the questions and the answer of them. Where did Black Beauty take Square Jordan and John to? Okay, can you remember? Can you remember the journey? Yes, this is night to Square's business. Okay, it was like a business trip to Squarey. Why did Black Beauty like pulling that carriage during the journey? Why? Why do you think? Yes, nice. Because this carriage was light and easy to pull. What made Black Beauty's journey with Square Jordan and John difficult? Yeah, excellent. Because of what? Because of the weather, actually. The weather was not good. The weather was raining and it was like a big storm. Why did Black Beauty stop crossing the bridge? Actually, when he comes to the bridge, he stopped and didn't move. Can you remember why? Yes, this is right. Actually, because he knew that the bridge was not safe, but he couldn't tell them, he couldn't speak and tell Square and John that the bridge is not safe. Why didn't John drive Black Beauty over the bridge? Yes, this is right. Because a man was on the other side of the bridge, warned him as the bridge was broken. Okay, so again, this is what happened when Black Beauty stopped and didn't move. What happened? Yes, great. Another man from the other side started to tell them, stop, stop, because the bridge was broken from the middle. And thank you, Black Beauty, you saved us. Who said this? Yes, this is nice. Okay, but we have to continue the question. What does it show about the speaker? The one who said this is Square Jordan. And it shows that, yes, he's very thankful and a kind man. When he thanks his horse, so it means that he is a thankful man and he's a kind man. Why did Square Jordan try to make Black Beauty cross the bridge? Okay, so let's see. Because of the bad weather and he wanted to be out of the wood. Can you remember what happened while they are talking together? And then they found a very big tree suddenly fall in front of them. So they decided to have another way, and this way was the bridge, but also it was very dangerous. So because of the bad weather, and he wanted to be out of the wood. What did Square Jordan and his wife decided to do after the business journey when they came safe? What happened? Actually, Square Jordan and his wife decided to have, yes, a visit to some friends. Where did Square Jordan and his wife spend the first night? I told you before, they spent it at an inn. And I explained before, what do you mean by inn? Yes, great. An inn is a place to drink and have a rest. What was the young rider doing while his horse was brushed? Okay, the young rider was smoking a cigarette. Yes, and this is the reason of the big fire that happened later on. Who tried to take the horses outside the fire? Yeah, great. The man with the lantern. Okay, but can you remember? The horses started to listen to this man? No, they were so frightened. Who arrived to save the horses and how? Okay, when the horses started to feel that there's something which is wrong, the fire, I mean, they said they started to feel that they are so frightened, and they stopped in their places and refused to get out. So who came to help them and how? Yes, excellent, great. John is the one who came to help them, and he started to speak softly and gently to the horses, and they convinced them to get out of the step. How did Black Beauty and other horses feel when John spoke softly to them? Yes, great, excellent. They stopped feeling frightened. Why did Square Jordan's friend admire John? Yeah, this is very good. I feel that you can understand and you can remember. Because what he did to help the horses was amazing. He was like a hero. He saved all the horses and convinced them to get out of the building, which was collapsed after this. How was Farmer Gray kind to Black Beauty and his mother? So he was very kind. So how? Explain. Yes, excellent. I can hear your answer. Your answer is he gave them healthy food and spoke to them as kindly as he spoke to his children. So that's why he was very kind. What did Black Beauty used to do with other horses? They used to run, have fun, and races. So he enjoyed with them like this, to run and have fun together and have races together. What did the biggest horses do when they got too excited? Yes, this is great. They start to kick the others and bite others next to them. Yes, they kicked and bite the horses next to them. How was Black Beauty when he grew up? So he needs the description of Black Beauty. He was a tall, strong horse with a black coat. He had one white foot and white star on his head. So you are trying to describe Black Beauty now. Who helped Black Beauty to learn to pull a carriage? Yes, this is great. His mother. His mother helped him in everything. Where did Square Jordan live? And how was this place? Let's see. He lived in a big house in Birtwick Park. Okay, this is the name of this place. And it was a lovely place with large fields and comfortable stables. What did the horses think of Birtwick Park? They loved it as it was a nice place. Okay, so because this place was very good, this place was very nice, they loved it so much. Why did Ginger often bite or kick? Can you remember why? Yes, this is right. Excellent. Because others or people who were in the past were not nice to her, they started to bite and kick them. Okay, so you have not to be like rude to animals or not kind to animals, because you are doing bad things to them and maybe you will learn them bad things. Why did children stop visiting horses? Can you remember? Yes, excellent, I can hear you. Because they became frightened and Ginger bite people or kick people. When they knew that Ginger became to be not good to people and start to kick them, actually they stopped visiting horses and they stopped giving them apples and sweet things. When will Ginger learn to stop biting? Yes, actually Mary Legs told Black Beauty that she will stop biting others and kicking others when people became kind to her. Now we are at the end. So this is chapter 2. Try to study chapter 2 at home. It's a difficult journeys that we have with Black Beauty, and next time we will have chapter 3. So see you next time and bye-bye.